Anyways, how you doing today, Adam?
There we go. I'm good. I'm good. Seems like I haven't seen you in forever. I'm irritable. My computer, Clinton, my lifeline. I use my work laptop for everything. I opened it up. It would not boot up. So
As Greg
I
and
am.
Spencer would say, the blue screen of death shows up, and you don't know what to do after that.
And then I just went into a panic mode because my dog pulled a new ball out from under the couch, and I don't know if it's a squeaky ball or a quiet ball. So these are the things that happen to me on show night that don't happen to other people.
This is fair. We just saw each other an hour ago in Burlington at the TSN studios, where we were voicing some stuff for the upcoming uh, Canadian Dirt Challenge. Canadian Dirt Tour. So good to see you again. About an hour after we were just spending an hour together. And some days it's work, buddy. Tonight was work. We'll just let that be. Tonight we'll get through this program though. Remembering Scott Bloomquist, I'm sure we got some good stories on that. We'll let the viewers jump in on that. I've asked Matt Weaver to join us. He messaged something about Cars Tour news just dropping, so I don't know whether we're going to have Matt or not. We've also invited Danny Benedict to come on, and we got some Burger Barn Biz of the Week. We'll talk about NASCAR and their penalty on Austin. Dylan, where do you want to go first, Adam?
Oh, let's start with Scott Bloomquist. You know, it's the biggest thing to happen in racing, and ironically, Ransomville Super Dirt Car Series is on tonight, Clint. And Ransomville was a place where I interviewed Scott Bloomquist. And it was the only time in my career I can remember ever being intimidated by a driver that I interviewed. And it's not that he was famous. It's not, we've been there. He just had an intensity about him that was frightening to me.
Not to mention, built like a big badass biker too, and carried himself that way. So you knew he definitely had an attitude that if you said something wrong would slap you right back. But he did have a big heart too. It was good to see Tyler Reddick, who was his former dirt late model driver, recognize him Monday after the NASCAR win. Do we have that clip, Spencer? If you do, feel free to roll that for us. And there's your squeaky ball coming in.
And now it's gone.
Until you have to fight him. Yeah, Scott Bloomquist, though, just, for those that don't know, the dirt late model legend lost his life. We got the news of that Friday morning. It appears he was flying a vintage airplane on his property and crashed into one of the barns and got taken away from us. But certainly one of the most badass dirt racers we ever had, attitude-wise, builder, just a great all-around racer, man. What can you say about it?
No, that's about it. So many people looked up to Scott Bloomquist. He was an innovator. He was a no bullshit guy. He was a real renegade.
What do you think the chance are you get trading on right now, Adam? Because I just read Cars Tour appeals panel amends the penalty to Chad Bryant. So I'm just reading it here as we go. They voted to amend the penalty level against Chad Bryant for the unapproved part of Trayton Lapsvich. Following the event, as a result, he's been reinstated as the winner.
Wow. You know what, Clint? I can't because I'm on my phone. I'm doing this show from my phone because my computer wouldn't boot up. So sorry about that.
Round up Trayton. If Matt can't get available, let's see if we can get Trayton to talk about it.
It's well worth it.
Yeah. To join us.
Man, pigs are flying this week.
Yeah, so the other hot story is the crate situation going on in the dirt world. We'll delve into that a bit. That's the hot topic in my world today. Crazy to see what's going on. They found a crate, not a crate sprint, a crate sportsman car in Vermont that was illegal with dirt seals. So we'll see how that one goes. It came out, it was a local builder from our neck of the woods that was involved in it. So Trayton said, hey, when do you guys go till I'm actually still on the way home from Mooresville? We were surprised it came out so quick. We are on the air now. So we'll see if
this is
Trayton, yeah,
This is breaking news. This is how we roll. But so Kyle, if Kyle Edgar is correct, winner but doesn't receive the points, that sort of thing irritates me. The same way it irritates me with what NASCAR did with Austin Dillon, and I was absolutely wrong last week. But you either won the race or you didn't win the race. To me, if you have technical inspection, you were either in the race or you weren't in the race. And if you fail technical inspection, you weren't in the race, which means you don't win, you don't get points, you don't get money. I don't understand the notion where we're going to dock you this much money or we're going to dock you this much points. No, you're either there or you're not. The football crosses the goal line or it doesn't. The baseball clears the outfield wall or it doesn't. It's a home run or it's not.
Let's bring Danny Benedict on. He's standing by. Let's get his thoughts on it. We brought Danny on, veteran racer here in Ontario over the years. He's a crew member with Donald T's race team on the NASCAR side, also pro late model racer in his own right. Danny, you've been around. We're just talking about the news of Trayton. They reinstated the win. What are your thoughts on that situation? What do you know about it? And do you have an opinion on it?
Yeah, hey guys. Nice to be back on. I don't really know all the ins and outs, so it's hard to say. Obviously, you got to agree to a certain point with what Adam was saying. Yeah, it should be black and white, but unfortunately, there's that part of the rule book that's called the gray area, and we as racers and crew members like to play in that area a little bit more, maybe sometimes than we should. So, it's definitely a bit of a balancing act, but yeah, I've never really understood the whole, you can win a race, but you don't get any points or money. It's like, well, I didn't really win the race then. It doesn't really make a ton of sense. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that one, but that's obviously a NASCAR thing, I think.
Danny, welcome. We brought you on originally to talk about your retirement. So you're too young to retire. You're still too good to retire. What's the thought process there? Are we crying wolf too early? I mean, I got to throw all these tough questions at you because you just seem too young and too able to be calling it a career at this point.
Yeah, so this is actually something that has been in the works for honestly quite a while now. A couple years ago, when I built this car that I currently have, I called it my one last shot car, and it was pretty much my first brand new race car that I ever built. I saved up as much money as I could, and I said, I am throwing everything I have at this car, and we're going to try to make a competitive run at the APC title. And that's what last year was. So last year was this is it. I have the best equipment that I can physically purchase, and we're going to take a run at it. So that's what last year was. And then this year it was just we didn't want to give up necessarily. I didn't really know what direction we wanted to go. This was kind of supposed to be more of a touring year for me. Obviously we did the one race out in Nova Scotia. It was kind of more supposed to be like a bucket list year kind of deal. So we were able to get some of the funding together, and we were able to make that trip, which I was really happy with. And yeah, so I've kind of known since the start of the year that this was going to be it. We were going to be pulling the plug, and yeah, definitely still pretty young, but honestly, I've been doing this for about 20 years now, racing something. So you talk about missed birthday parties, missed weddings, missed summers because you're off racing somewhere, and it's been a long 20 years. So it's kind of just a thing where I sat down, I chatted with my dad, and I said, I think it's time. And it's kind of the perfect timing for me because, I get to keep one foot in. I'm still going to be around. Like I said in my Facebook post, I don't think I'll ever be able to take 2 feet out of it. I still love the sport. I love every part of it. When you're going on a drive somewhere an hour down the road, all you're thinking about is race cars. So it's tough to get that out of you for sure. But, hoping to stay around, stay relevant, keep my hands dirty in something. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but, excited for the future.
So how much do you have? what did you not prove? Obviously, you have not been an APC Series champion. You've been a hell of a competitor, though, Danny. What is there much you left on the table?
Yeah, I don't think so. When you look at it from a reality kind of standpoint, I didn't come from a racing family. My dad raced a little tiny bit when I was a kid. He just did endurance races. So, when we got into the sport, we knew absolutely nothing. Like, we were running a 4-cylinder car on basically hopes and dreams. So, to take that and turn it into, what we've been able to do, and basically by ourselves. Like, my dad and I are the two guys that work on the car. I'd say 95 to 98% of the time. The odd time we get someone else in working on it too, but for the most part, it's just my dad and I. So, what we've been able to accomplish, obviously we just didn't have the means to take it to that next level, to take it to winning APC titles. There's a lot of really, really good teams that compete in that, and a lot of really good drivers as well. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's been a success. I've checked every box that I wanted to check. And yeah, just overall, we're just really happy with it. And like I said, I'm looking forward to the future and seeing what I can do kind of as a behind the scenes kind of guy.
Danny, it's not like you've not already done that. We've seen you out on the road a couple years now with Donald Teege and his team. I know you spend a lot of time helping a lot of other folks. Is that going to be rewarding enough for you as a driver? Because that driver mentality that's a tough hunger to feed if you're not actually behind the wheel. Most old time racers just don't come to the track anymore because it's too hard if they can't drive. How are you going to cope?
Yeah, I think I'll cope with that pretty well. This year was a pretty good test of that. I've only raced 3 or 4 times this year, so I haven't really even been in the car this year, so to speak. And I'm perfectly fine getting to work on cars and getting to call the shots. And a lot of what's fun for me is trying to just figure out what makes these things go faster than everybody else. So that to me, I think, is gonna be fulfilling enough. Should it not be, then hey, you never know. Maybe I'll come back one day, but for now, I'm going to take a couple years and try to, so to speak, get my life together a little bit more. Like I said, there's a lot of things that I've missed and a lot of things I wasn't able to be a part of that. I'm looking forward to getting to do that in the future. But like I said, still kind of keeping my hand in the pot.
What does the rest of this season look like? What do you have to knock off before we officially retire?
Well, there's only one race left, and that's for the guy that I got tattooed on my arm. The Allen Lincoln Memorial Race at Sunset. We finished second last year after leading a whole bunch of laps, and this year that's my last goal ever, I'd say, is to win that race for him. And that, as of right now, that's the race that I'm hanging it up at. That'll be the finale. So, like I said, that's tentative. We're not 100% sure on that. We might pop out to another race here and there. You never know. But that's the end goal.
What role do you see yourself in? We've talked about just behind the scenes. What's your specialty on the box, or what position do you see yourself getting into?
Yeah, probably still on the box. I don't know what Donald's plans are yet for next year, but obviously I'd love to stay with him. We have a great relationship. We work really well together. We've had a lot of speed. It's just we just haven't been able to knock down that first win. So, that's the goal for me, is to stay on the box, whether it's with him or with another team or with an APC team or even at some of the local levels. I get to work with a lot of different drivers. And right up from, Super Stocks right up to the Pinty Series. So, or I always say that, NASCAR Canada Series, right up to there. So, anything in between, obviously any opportunity that comes my way, I'd love to take it. I think, the ball's kind of in my court. I'm sure I could call up Paul Janioli tomorrow and say, hey, I want something to work on this weekend, and he'd have me on something. So, I think the ball's kind of in my court, and we'll see how the off season goes and make some plans, talk to some people, and see where it goes.
What do you think is the state of late model racing right now in Ontario, Danny? So that might be a good question to ask someone who's 1 foot out but still really cares about the sport. Are we in a good spot right now, heading in a good direction?
Well, that's a bit of a loaded question, to be honest with you. There's a lot to break down in that. Honestly, yeah, I do think that we're in a good spot. We're starting to see a lot of the local tracks pick up some more cars. We're starting to see guys get more interested. And even looking into the far future, like you look at the junior late model program that just started a few years ago, and we have a ton of kids that are coming into that. And it's not going to be long until those guys are stepping up into the super stocks, into the late models, right? So I think it's in a really good spot right now. I get to go to Sunset Speedway quite a bit, and a lot of things that they've been doing there has really impressed me, and really seems like they've turned it around from where we were 3 or 4 years ago. So hopefully that continues. As far as the state of APC, don't really want to touch on that too much, but obviously it's an expensive game, and it's a tough game, and like I said earlier, there's a lot of really good teams in that series, and unfortunately it's kind of turning the way of the guy that works out of his home shop can't really compete anymore. You get the odd anomaly that definitely does, but some of these guys, their budgets are just unreal, and it's tough for normal guys to be able to compete with that. So hopefully they can kind of rectify that. I don't really know how they would, and I'm not sitting here pretending to know everything or say, I know how to fix APC, but it's no secret that the car counts have been down compared to years past, but hopefully they figure out something that can rectify that, and hopefully those car counts come back up, because they do have something legitimate there, and it's a really good series with a lot of potential, and hopefully it just car counts come back up and they can succeed again.
So in a few weeks after your last race, you're going to come back and tell us what's wrong, right?
I've always gone with the theory that anyone who says something bad about short track racing is doing absolutely nothing good. So, I believe that the series can figure it out, and I believe that they will figure it out, and I believe the car counts will come back out. And like I said, I don't pretend to have all the answers, so I can't sit here and say anything negative about the series when I can't say that I have the answers. So, like I said, hopefully they figure it out. Hopefully those car counts come way back up, and hopefully it's the hottest ticket in town again.
Danny, we appreciate you taking the time to come and hang out with us and answering the hard questions. It's always a pleasure. And if you're at the racetrack and you're not behind the wheel, come and sit into the booth with us.
Absolutely, I'd love that sometime.
You're on, Danny. A face that won't be going away, but we won't be talking to him on camera too much in Victory Lane anymore. Danny, thanks for your time, man. Thanks for all you've done, and we'll still follow your story, man.
Yeah, thank you guys. Obviously, I really appreciate you guys having me on every time that I have come on, and appreciate all you guys do for the sport and all the media outlets. And, I see you guys traveling all over the place just to get this out to the audience. So, we as racers really appreciate it, and you guys probably don't get that enough, but thank you guys.
Right on. Thanks, Danny.
Kind words.
I got to tell you, I think it was last year, Newfoundland. I don't think I've been hungover leaving a race like that in a long time. And Danny, I seen him at the airport, and man, I was hanging like a grape. It was not a pleasant morning at St. John's Airport, but great time the night before. We always have a good time with The Rock. Crazy to see Danny packing it up, but like you said, we see him lots of places, and I don't think we're going to see him moving out of the deal too far. So the Cars Tour. Let's jump back to that, Adam. So they've given Trayton the win, but they're not going to give him the points or the money. So things that make you go, what does that make you think? Like, to me as a manager promoter, the easy way out is to not give back the points and money, because you don't have to adjust everybody's money up through the deal. You don't have to just the administration were to adjust all the points and put out new press releases and all that bullshit, it kind of seems like laziness. And I'm not just picking at the Cars Tour, but it's been a general thing when it comes to disqualifications in many disciplines that we just hold the positions. Now, I don't know, is it an admission of guilt? Is it a meet us halfway that you get the win but you don't get the points and money? I don't understand what to make of it right now. And just before you answer, I'm going to give you Trayton Lapswich's answer. Trayton said, I'll hop on momentarily, but then he said, actually, I'm sorry, Clint, but I probably shouldn't. I feel like I need to take a minute about this so I don't say the wrong thing. I'm still sort of conflicted over the ruling. And I said, that's fair. Let us know when you're ready. So, obviously, they expected a full reinstatement of the points and money and the win. So you tell me I win, but you're not going to pay me or give me the points. What do you take out of that, Adam?
That he didn't win.
Matt's on.
That's all.
If we have Matt, bring him on, Spencer. And see if we've got him. I'd love to hear what Matt Weaver has to say about it.
Listen, these are not trophy racers. Trayton Lapswich doesn't give a shit about the trophy he was handed that night. He races for points, he races for money, he races for the opportunity to race something bigger and better. So maybe if you look at it that way, they can take the points and take the money. People still see that he won the race. But by and large, it's an enormous crock of shit. You were either there and you raced and you won, or you were not legal, therefore you weren't there.
Oh, here's Matt Weaver. He's driving. Matt, if you don't know, is the preeminent short track writer here in America. We wanted him on to talk about the Cars Tour. Wasn't actually expecting that, but actually to talk about the Austin Dillon penalty, but glad we've got him here. His signal's a bit sketchy. I don't know. Is it going to work, Spence? We got you, Matt?
No, I'm here. I don't want to do video while I'm driving, but I do want to talk to you guys.
Awesome, Matt. Welcome to the show.
So listen, obviously there's a lot happening right now. I've got Dale Jr. texting me. He wants to chat about this. Chad Bryant, those guys want to chat too. So I promised you guys that I would jump on, and I certainly wanted to honor that. But I just want to put it out there first and foremost. I don't have all the answers yet. I know from listening to you guys, there's a lot of questions. There's some frustrations or concerns. I share those. I just don't know the answer yet, and not until I talk to Dale Jr., Kip Childress, Chad Bryant, and kind of get a feeling for why the decision was crafted the way that it was tonight.
Matt, once you do that, because you're a pure journalist, and I am not. I'm the opposite of that. So do you get to form an opinion at the end of all of it, or do you just amass the facts and let your readers take what they will?
No, listen, I tell people all the time, I've got biases, I have opinions. I think it's more intellectually dishonest as a journalist to act like I have no life experience, no predisposed, biases. I think it's super important that I'm honest about them, right? Like I want everyone to know, what those biases are or what those life experiences might be that shape however I feel about a given scenario. So certainly once I have a better idea of why everything played out, I'm sure I'm going to have some opinions now. But I will say I don't think it's fair to the process or the participants to express any opinion when I don't have all the answers yet, right? Like I want to talk to Dale and Kip and Chad, and I have a pretty good idea of what happened, but until I actually talk to them, I just don't think it's prudent of me to spout off until I know, right?
Fair enough. I want to follow up. I want to follow up here, Clinton, if you don't mind, because I'll ask you a generalization then, Matt. Knowing what you know historically, should there ever be a time when someone gets penalized but allowed to keep a finishing position?
Yeah, I don't like it, right? And I'll give you the other example from the past week, the Austin Dillon penalty, right? So like he gets to keep the win, and then the record will state that Austin Dillon won the Cup race at Richmond But the record book will also state that he does not get to go into the playoffs. He doesn't have all the perks associated with that. To me, that's kind of strange, right? Like, that's really not winning. And so I don't know if this is a process thing because they're having to, go in and reassess the payout money, or I don't know. But to me, I think that if the 77 team won the race, they were deemed to have been not in violation of the rule. I don't get how it can be half-assed, right? But again, I say that without having a full understanding of the facts, and maybe Kip and Dale and even Chad might even tell me something that'll change my mind. But as a general principle, I do not like the idea of being half a winner. You're either half pregnant or you're either all the way pregnant or not pregnant, right?
The one word that you said that kind of caught me, Matt, was you said crafted. It wasn't just a black and white drop, here's the ruling. They have crafted this for a reason. So I'm like you, I can't wait to hear these explanations as to why they did it. But I guess my question is, when is a win a win? They paid him, they shook his hand, they loaded the car. At what point do we go back and strip wins? Like, that's at the core of the story to me.
Yeah, so basically, I'll give you guys the Reader's Digest version. But again, I need to have the conversations first. I think this is going to come down to a matter of semantics and maybe placing a comma somewhere in the rules, because the way the rule reads, it does not explicitly state that the rear end has to be a quick change. And I think that if you read it a certain way and you put in a comma, you take out a comma, it has two completely different interpretations. That's what I think this is going to come down to. I think the reason why it happened the way that it did is technically the 77 team was in violation of the rule as it was intended and even understood. But if you read the rule book word for word without the commas, it's really not a violation. And when they shake your hand in victory lane and they tell you before the green flag waves, because it's not that hard to tell the difference between those two rear ends. I mean, you can visibly tell that. You don't have to be I am the most least technically inclined guy in this business, and I can tell you the difference, right, between the kick quick change and the forward 9-inch. But I think it's going to come down to semantics, and I don't know entirely how to parse that yet without having, again, talked to them, right?
No, and really, Matt, I'd like to keep you all night, but I don't want to take up much more of your time. Clinton, if you've got anything more, I will say this. Thank you so much for taking the time. You've got much bigger fish to fry tonight, but I appreciate the fact that you work with us.
Let's reconvene here in a coming episode, because I felt bad for not being able to do it last week, and then this news breaks right when I'm scheduled to jump on with y'all, and I love talking racing with y'all. It's just it turned into a busy night. So let's do this again next week when I have more information, and I'm not sitting here kind of speculating, because it makes me feel kind of gross when I'm speculating without having all the answers.
Matt, no problem. We really appreciate it. I just Trayton's close to us, right? Because he grew up in our neck of the woods, raced with our series, so we're hot on this story as well. I'm not sure if you heard earlier, but Trayton's, we tried to get him on here tonight. His actual statement was actually, Clint, I'm sorry, but I probably shouldn't say anything. I feel like, as you, need to take a minute to think about this so I don't say the wrong thing. I'm still sort of conflicted over it. So Lapsoviches are still kind of soaking this in as well. We hope to get you back both on next week to get the end take on it.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Matt. Have a good night. If you don't know, Matt is on the scene in all these deals. We'll get into it a bit more next week, but I mean, I've seen videos of him with Richard Childress like moments after Austin Dillon takes everybody out in last week's media center. Matt is on all the things, and of course, it's a hot story for our neck of the woods as well. But wild.
And Clint, I apologize for setting him loose, but I mean, we always try a good guest. So inside baseball, folks, when we have a a phenomenal guest on. We'll keep them on as long as we possibly can. Just keep burning through questions, and because it's amazing, everything they say is so valuable. But man, he's got some big shit to go on and do tonight. So I didn't want to keep burning him around when he's got Dale Jr. to call back.
Yeah. Hey, it's glad we're in the rotation and got the call before Dale Jr. So that means a lot. I know
Big
Matt
time.
is a big fan of Canadian racing, big fan of the NASCAR Canada Series and everything going on up here in short tracks in general. So he sees it all. Good to have him with us. Wow. Where do we go from here? We got lots of Burger Barn videos a week, I think. Crate Tech, NASCAR Slap and Dylan. So we've seen kind of a half-ass deal, a half-ass give back with the lap switch deal. Kind of the same thing with Dylan. Adam, you said there's no way last weekend. We might have to play that clip, but I don't think we need to go back that far. We actually caught you admitting that you were wrong. Adam Ross was wrong.
Yeah. What episode are we on?
233-ish, something like that.
All right.
Let's
It took 232 episodes, but you got what you wanted.
There's talk of repercussions tomorrow. So they were also quoted as saying that it's not in NASCAR's DNA to strip a win. So you're probably going to see some points penalty. But do you think it's possible that they could take the playoff position away for a move like that?
No, I could see them suspending him for the next race, but then giving him a waiver to get into the playoffs.
So it's exactly what I just said. Don't do that again, but a little.
Right. There's precedent set for what they do. You can get suspended for a race for being a butthead, but they will not take your qualification into the playoffs. Not saying that won't change next year. There is no rule in the NASCAR rule book that says you can't do what he did.
Oh, did you see that, Alvers? Adam admitted he was wrong.
Yeah.
I love it.
You know why I doubled down on that last week, Clinton?
Why?
Because I was listening to Dave Moody, and he said the same thing, and he's the one who said there's no rule in the rule book. So,
well, unprecedented situations take unprecedented decisions and actions to make them happen.
Yep.
So, hey, I think we all agree it was a bull. It's like Days of Thunder. If you and the guys at NASCAR won't call it low-down shit-ass racing, well, that's exactly what it is. So, you got to be a bit better on that deal. Glad to see they try to save some face by at least Dave. But, man, can we not just strip wins? Take it all away, all or nothing, right? Is that where we're at?
yep. Because if he didn't win, here's the deal. Who won that race? Every race in the year guarantees someone into the playoffs. Unless they've already
Tyler
won
Reddick.
a race, in which case,
No?
that's my view is next in line gets the win.
Speaking of Reddick, we talked about him earlier in the opening, talking about Scott Bloomquist. What a season he's been having. Reddick's been second a bunch of times, nearly won a few races. I think he's the dark horse for possibly the championship contention here. Not a lot of people have been talking about Reddick, but he's been in these races for a while. So good on him.
Yeah. He's really good. I mean, there were some things we can complain about a lot of things with NASCAR and with racing in general, but parity right now at NASCAR's top level is pretty damn cool. Like if you narrow down who's the hottest or who's the favorite to win the championship, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, William Byron maybe, but there's no clear-cut, obvious answer.
True. Looking forward to this weekend, Friday-weekend for us. Sauble Saturday night on Racing America. If you're not around, make sure you tune in to us live or get your butt up to the beach. It's going to be a great weekend up there.
And iCar Saturday afternoon if you got Flow Racing.
That's true. Adam will be calling the race. I may be joining him. We'll see how that goes. If we're all set up and ready to rock. Where do we go from here? I had somewhere we were going to go from here. Oh, let's quickly Christmas in August at Oshweekend this week. 4 regular divisions, 4 regular programs. So nothing special for the classes this weekend as Pinewood Horticultural and Agro Marine and Supply Inc. present Christmas in August. Donate a new unwrapped toy for $5 off the grandstand admission. Let's give the kids a good Christmas. 360s, crates, thunders, and minis. Regular program, regular race time, 7:30. While we're on that vein, Cash Blast. Gail's Cash Blast from last week has been moved to August 30th. Gail cannot be with us this weekend. Said, hey, can we move my race to next weekend? So Thunderstocks, heads up. Gail's Cash Blast will be August 30th, $2,500, $2,000, $1,500 to win in the top 3 spots. $750 and $500 round up the top 5, courtesy of our friends Gail's Auto Aftermarket and Club 54 Racing. So that's the Gail's Cash Blast race has been pushed back 55 laps, August 30th. And while we're on Oshweekend stuff, we don't have slides on, Spencer, so you just come back to our face, I guess. Sportsmen's have been added officially to September 12th's program, along with the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstock Nationals. And want to welcome John and his crew from Middleport Mechanical. They are the division sponsor. Signed on yesterday as the title sponsor for the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstock Nationals, first ever, Thursday, September 12th, along with the Race of Champions Sportsmen's and track sessions, test and tune sessions for the 360s and crates as they get ready for Nationals weekend. So instead of just practice, it'll be race night. $10 for the fans, $25 to get in the pits. That's some great pricing, so make sure you come out and check it out. Thursday, September 12th. Well, do you want to talk about, let's have some fun. Let's watch some Burger Barn videos of the week. How about that? And then we'll come back and talk about Crate Tech and all the developing that's been going on there with the 602 Crate Sportsman World down in Vermont. And again, close to our neck of the woods. Here's your Burger Barn video of the week. Don't forget, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are great days to go to the Burger Barn. Quick service, great food, and everything you need. Plus, Petrol Plus Travel Stop, the official fuel supplier of all things G-Force. Here's your Burger Barn videos of the week. Okay, so this is grass go-kart oval racing. They're racing on grass, not a groomed track, cut grass.
Wow.
It's got to be dirt before long, though, right?
I would think so.
There's got to be those 440 snowmobile engines just tearing the shit out of the ground. That's cool. What else we
Crazy.
got? Keep them rolling. Oh, look at, he thinks he's clear. Watch how fast the sprint car closes on him. Ooh. Okay, so we got to play this a couple more times. So watch how much time he has. The sprint car's in like turn, not even on the track yet. That is too close for comfort, man. So that goes to show you, if you ever think you can cross the track when cars are live, you can. I'd be guilty of that. I'm not even going to bullshit you. I'd look at that, and I think I can make it. But not after watching that a few times.
Right?
All right.
No kidding.
Keep them coming, Spence. Oh, look at this. This is an example of how you're never safe at any racing track wherever you are. So this is the body of a funny car. Blows off into the pit area while people are standing around. So a whole car. Now I have nightmares of that. Being outside turn 2 at Oshweekend and seeing a car falling on me like La Bamba's airplane.
No kidding. I like the ladies' play-by-play.
Oh, shit. Yeah, pretty wild.
Hey, before we queue up the next video, we've got to remember the Rick Wiley Memorial. Clinton, and my phone is tied up because I'm using it for this stream. Do you have it in our chats, or is it too buried?
I'll find it. I'll find it and get it back to Spencer.
Queue up
now,
the next
Spencer?
video.
Yeah. Well, save that till the end. What else we got? Okay, so stop this. Hold on, Adam. Stop this, Spencer. Stop. So this is iRacing. So he's got a car that's underpowered. I want to know from the iRacers, does this work? So he's got it floored. And what he's doing is just keeps riding that clutch a bit and bringing the RPMs up more and more, and he's gaining. Is this a glitch in the iRacing matrix? Now play it from the start again.
Wow.
You kind of got to watch.
Is that iRacing at all?
Don't know. Yeah, that's good. It's a sim racer, so I wondered, does that work?
Wow.
Can you
I don't know,
follow the clutch
Spencer?
and get some RPMs? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
What
either.
else we
That's a
got?
good question.
Okay. Parenting done right or what? Okay, so this is
yeah,
like
the
a
kids.
6 and a 7-year-old. Look, she's eating a Pop-Tart there as little Billy pushes Dad off in the sprint car. I mean,
Yeah,
parenting done right? I think so.
Irresponsibly, she would be in the race car. So yeah, this is responsible parenting.
That's fair enough. All right, what else we got, Spencer? Oh, watch this. Watch how fast this thing hits. And watch how fast he catches fire.
Big crash in turn 4.
No, but he did the stop, drop, and roll, which is the universal signals for I'm on fire.
We're still on about that, eh?
You still go on about a finish line. All right, what else we got, Spencer?
Look at that. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Okay.
Oh, would you look at that? Just look at it. Just look at
So,
it. What the
if you've ever been in Niagara Falls, this is Clifton Hill at Niagara Falls. Now, see where he's rolling down to? That's the Niagara Gorge there. Okay? I've come to learn through social media that this guy's name is Wheelchair Rick. And he is doing this all over Niagara region, wheeling down hills on his wheelchair, full speed.
If you screw that up.
It's like, that is not a place to screw around. I'd be worried riding my bicycle down that hill in case you lose your brakes. Wheelchair Rick is flying down Clifton Hill. And so he's got social media. Go search for Wheelchair Rick. This guy's doing this on hills all over the place. No helmet, rednecking it up, loving it. What else we got, Spencer?
This boy is 4 years old, and he definitely
Watch
drives a
this.
car better than you, because his father taught him from birth. If you doubt it, just look at this smoothest rear parking. The most amazing thing is that his kart has no reverse gear, and he parks only with the help of impulse. This boy will definitely be the coolest guy in school.
Okay, so watch this again. Now, I watched this 3 times to make sure this isn't like a simulation. This kid is good. Like, he spins that car around and rolls it right back into the garage.
Because his father taught him from birth. If you doubt it, just look at this smoothest rear parking. The most amazing thing is that his kart has no reverse gear, and he parks only with the help of impulse. This boy will definitely be the coolest guy.
That's pretty damn
Now-
good. What?
Wow. That is a direct drive kart though, Clint. Do you know what a direct drive is? No
Yeah.
clutch. So it's just the engine. It will fire in reverse. So if you spin out in a direct drive, and I've seen this before, if you spin backwards and the kart starts rolling backwards, the engine will refire again because the two-stroke doesn't know whether it's turning forward or back. So I almost wondered if when he did that it was a direct drive and he could drive it in reverse, but maybe he was just using his momentum.
I think that was all momentum, but it's still, the car control is pretty wild. Anything else, Spencer? Yeah, I don't know how we get into this too wild. Roll it, though, Spencer. So Scott Bloomquist did a draw for a car. It's kind of long. I don't know whether we need to get through it all, but, we all know it was a tough biker. Just roll it, Spencer, as I'm talking.
Is this Brody?
Yeah.
This is Brody. Okay, Brody, this is Scott Bloomquist.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
This is absolutely Scott Bloomquist. I'm calling you.
Bloomquist.
Let me tell you something, buddy. I heard you like racing and you race cars a little bit. Yes. Okay. I'll tell you what, buddy. You talked your mother into buying one ticket for this race car yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You never watched the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? You got the golden ticket today, buddy. You are the winner of this race car.
So Bloomquist is almost breaking down himself here.
And hey, I know you're only 15, but you got a hell of a future ahead of you because you got a hell of a race car to get started in racing late models in the future.
I'm talking to Scott. Yeah.
Say, hey, you're going to make me cry, buddy.
Just cool to see the heart in Bloomquist there. And imagine that, getting a Team Zero late model from Scott Bloomquist at 15 years old to start your late model career. Mom bought the ticket and the kid won. Just cool to see Scott, his attitude, and obviously, rest in peace, Bloomer. A huge loss for the dirt community. Everybody came out across the racing world and talked about it, and so many different stories from far and wide about what he did for people and brought to the table. And he was a tough son of a bitch, but at the end of the day, he still had a heart of gold.
Absolutely. It's just a great story, right? And it's sort of proof that, yeah, there was good and bad to Scott Bloomquist. He wasn't a saint, but you know what? He was a big deal to the racing community, and a lot of people looked up to him. And that's all you got to remember. You've only got to remember the parts that you want to and the parts that make you feel the most. And I'm going to venture off onto a little bit of a sidetrack of seeing him get choked up. They interviewed Danny Johnson tonight at Ransomville. The Super Dirt Car Series is there, and I had it on mute so you couldn't see it. But it reminded me that they've been doing tributes to him at some of the races he's been at this summer. And they did a tribute for him just before the race at one of the Quebec races. And he's crying like a child. He's so overwhelmed with emotion. And he can't stop he's laughing and crying at the same time. But to see someone who's been ferocious for as long as I've been alive, the Doctor has been a fierce competitor, a ferocious competitor. And you see the human side of these people. It's pretty cool.
For sure. Definitely a big hole left by Black Sunshine. So we'll follow that as we get through it. Robbie Longboat, where the hell were you yesterday? Your Facebook went dead. Nobody could message you. People were wondering if you had succumbed to the situation too. But Robbie's still with us. Campground Robbie's ready to go for Nationals weekend and pumped up. And we're getting ready into that. That won't be far away. A few more weeks. Crate Tech, Adam, where do we go with this? So,
I love
Cole's
it.
Notes version?
This is social media doing what social media does in the best possible way. Because, how do I want to word? Someone getting caught illegal in such a big pool. The crate engine powered racing pool is enormous in the Northeast, whether it's sportsman cars, whether it's crate sprint cars, whether it's late models. I mean, everything is crate engine powered. So when someone gets caught messing with the rules, they need to be called out. And this post from Mike Bruno and his racetrack has been shared like 500 times.
Yeah, so Devil's Bowl Speedway had a race Sunday night. Cedric Govro won the race, the sportsman modified race. It was a CJ Richards Memorial. $5,000 to win race, I believe it was. A good paying win race. So they went after it. They took the engine in on Monday morning. And I'm trying to find out here. The engine was On Monday morning, a representative from the Speedway took the dirt car black sealed engine crate to a Devil's Bowl Speedway and dirt car approved engine shop, Hunt's Machine, for inspection. Cedric Govbro and a team member were also present during the inspection process. The engine was found to be illegal with multiple infractions. The black dirt car seals were removed during the inspection and kept in the possession of Hunt's Machine. Zach Sabatka is now being the official winner of the CJ Memorial Race and will get the money. So it turns out that they started doing some testing on the engine. They whistled it. They found the compression was out. They found the harmonic balancer was out. And the big situation here is, Dirt Car has given engine builders, approved engine builders, the ability to build motors. It's the same as our crate sprints. I mean, it's the way we've done it too. This engine builder was not any of our approved stuff at Osh Weekend. So for those asking me about that, it doesn't really touch us, other than possibly the Thunderstocks, but we can talk on that a bit later. But so the engine shops are approved based on, should be, their reputations. They're granted seals by the sanctioning body, and then it's their job to build the engines according to the specs that they're given, and their reputation is held together by those seals. So when something gets out of spec, or it's reviewed, or the seals are in question, they do a bit more tech, cut the seals off, look at it, and that's what happened here. So you have an engine builder that has put its own seals on its own motor and purported it to be legal. So that's where the situation rises with the whole deal. So now, Dirt Car came out around 5 o'clock this evening and said that New Gen will no longer be an approved builder anymore, and they will have to, they'll be removed from the seal program going forward with no timetable for reinstatement. Is that the fairest way I could say it so far?
Yeah, I'd say.
So then Mike Bruno came out today with a bit of more detailed post on where things could go. And he's getting a lot of kudos for it around the racing community for stepping out and, I don't want to say not believing the seals, but I think at the end of the day, the seals are a good, I don't know how to put it. I don't want to say deterrent. But if everything's on the up and up, it's easy to look at those seals and know that the engine hasn't been adjusted from the last time it was sealed. Let's put it that way. Now, the problem lies when you have people who can seal these motors and they're not doing it properly. How do we keep it straight on the Osh Weekend side? Well, we pull them down every year or two, and we take all the top 5 engines from the series, and we open them up in front of everybody, and everybody gets to look. Now, if there's an engine builder that's done anything wrong, we're hoping the other 3 to 4 engine builders in the room would catch it at that moment, and we would deal with that one. Thankfully, each time we've done these tests at home, things have passed. But big problem last night, Adam, did not pass. It has ramifications right across the entire dirt sports world, inside and outside of dirt motorsports. What do you want to say about it?
No, good for them for doing that. I think it's time we start pulling motors apart. I think as the crate program run its course, probably the untouchable crate program has run its course. So start pulling them apart, start teching them. It's not the end of the world.
No, and look, we did it last year with Mike Bowman in the crates. There was a lot of talk. He won all the big summer races, and we just said, one more win, we're going to tear you down. And that's what we did. We opened up. Everybody got to measure and see what he had going on. He was legit. So the track, we had to take that gamble. We lost, but I think we won in, perception. So
you won the
there.
Trust of the drivers.
Well, I'm sure there's still some that feel something's going on, but we try to do everything we can to get it out there. Now, people will say, like Albers did, how about a dyno test? Well, at a dyno test, the one thing Mike Bruno said about it is they refused to run it over 6,000 RPM. Well, these things are supposed to top out at 62. So all the magic could be happening from 6,000 to 6,000 RPM, above that. So to me, the other thing we've been told is dyno testing. You have I don't know what the proper word is, but you can adjust the dyno as a plus minus percentages up or down to adjust for different things. So an experienced dyno test can alter those things a little bit. And the only way that works is if you bring 5 motors in with a base at that time and go through them all the same. And then you could have them within a few percentage points of each other is the best way you could do that. So mobile dyno, that's something we've talked about. We've even seen, Adam, we were talking about tonight in TSN studio, where NASCAR brought in a rear wheel dyno and teched the top 5 after Grand Prix Trois Rivières there last week. And why would they do that? Why wouldn't they just dyno the motor? To me, it's so you can see the whole drive line. You can see, does someone have an advantage in the rear end? Does someone have an advantage in the drive line? Anywhere. You'll see it on the rear wheel dyno that you might not see. The engine could be perfect. The tricks could be somewhere else. So, I mean, we have to be crafty also from the tech side. But it's wild when you get into it.
You got to be a step ahead of your racers.
So we'll see how this one shakes out. Still a lot of still very fresh. What a busy news day, right? Lots of stuff happened today that hasn't kind of got to shake out, as we would say, so we can really report on it properly just yet.
Yeah, because proper reporting, that's what we do. Yeah, we just talk to the people that do it. We know where to find the people that have the answers.
Well, from the Australian side, I can tell you it won't be long before GSR has their own dyno in-house. So that's one thing I'm looking forward to with the new GSR engine shop. I believe we're going to have an in-house dyno, at which point, okay, we'll take the top 5 from every class over to the dyno. We'll be there till Tuesday, but we can check everything we need to. So excited to have those opportunities when we need to. Other than that, Friday last weekend, Sobel for us on the APC series on Saturday. Other than that, I think it's time to go have some food, watch the end of Ransomville, and see how that shakes out tonight.
Yep, shut her down.
All right, thanks everybody for being with us. Don't forget, Microsprints has a few weeks left. We're live every Thursday at 7 with the next generation of racers and broadcasters. We'll be happy to show you that. G-Force, 7 o'clock. Thursday, we are back with you 7:30 p.m. Friday for Friday Night Excitement live from Mosh Weekend. We'll then see you then. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Spencer.